peoples of the world. I'm just getting up. Monday, it's 10:30. This cold is just about gone. Not done, but moving out. Cheers. Folks, let me ramble at you for a little bit. Kind of recap since my gig a little bit, and then I'll show some records. So I'm glad that Sean Everidge, who has a website, Sean's video clips or something like that, or concert clips, something like that. I know who he is, and yet I don't remember seeing him in the audience. But he gave me permission to upload that song, that whole song, Pure Evil by David Nance Group, so you could see how it went. And some funny little things. It's like, you see that we played really well, but we only had 2 rehearsals for that show to get ready for it. The regular rhythm section of the David Nance Group is myself and Kevin Donahue, and then the other guitarist is Jim Schroeder. Well, Jim and Kevin were already out on the road backing up Rita Lee. And the funny thing was, after the show Thursday night here in Omaha, Dave jumped on a plane 6 o'clock in the morning and flew up to Vancouver to join the tour with Rita Lee / David Nance Group. So because of the opportunity to play with Fuzz, Dave jumped on it and grabbed Matt for drummer, and then Sam, who I'd never even met, before. And then turns out I know his family. Being so old, I know everybody. That was a blast. I loved working with Matt, and I do hope we'll be working with Matt again. We vibed up big time. We really enjoyed each other's playing. I enjoyed Sam's too. And I was really happy with how Dave just does his thing. That's why I like playing with David. You can see he's the real fucking deal. My next show with them is June 17th here in Omaha. I could have gone on the road with them, but I didn't want to because I know that they're still roughing it. And that's just the way it is for musicians. Hanging out with Ty Segal and Chuck from the band Fuzz. Before the show, we were talking and vibing and stuff, and they're loving it. Even though they're doing a little better than I would be doing if I went out with David Nance, they're still on that road. And the road is long and tough. There's a romance to it, but it's hard. I ain't up for it at my age unless things are looking good. Some decent accommodations. I'll go for that. So, the other thing about the band is that we finished the album, and waiting because David is shopping it around wisely. We have some prospects. We'll see who puts it out. But the album came out good. Real good. I love the natural high of playing music. I just love it. It is the best. About to show some records. But I want to share that I did on Earth Day, Record Store Day, I did end up going to the park. It was extremely windy. But when I got to the park where the main place here in Omaha where we have the festivities for Earth Day, it was going on. And so I I'm glad that I went and ended up having an absolute wonderful afternoon. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see where I posted some pictures where I didn't get pictures of nearly all the people I ran into. After a while, it was like being surrounded by a big family. My friends are like family. And it was, something because of COVID. You don't really think about how long it's been since you've seen some people. But it had been a while since I'd seen some folks, and some people's kids were, like, they're still kids, but some of them was babies last time I saw them. It was fantastic. It was really a wonderful time. I'd shown this the other day, that I got this for on Record Store Day, and I'm real glad I got this. Turns out this had been bootlegged before with this cover, or a crappier version of this graphic. This is pretty cool because you hear these rough versions of stuff that ended up on the album 154, which to me is a classic album of all time. It is. And yes, Wire were one of the bands that I vibed with. The only person who answered the ad for when I put together the band Digital Sex. My original ad for the band was looking for people who were interested in stuff like Peter Gabriel, Japan, David Sylvie, Yellow Magic Orchestra, and then next tier, Joy Division, Wire, XTC. Only one person answered the ad. The other musicians that I started the band with I already knew. There's no doubt about who did what. Digital Sex was my band. You folks who watch me and see my comments, I get rid of junk. I had to get rid of some junk, some jealous junk. I've been in a bunch of bands. It was going long before Digital Sex, still going. And I started that band, yeah. Don't step to me. Don't step to me. So I got the facts, baby. I got the proof, too. So fuck that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? It's funny how people, and I'll say it like this, people with shit intentions just try to come over and rain on your parade, and I'm not having it because I know what's up. Speaking of, several videos ago, when I showed Sonny Chirac, someone else mentioned the Japanese experimental guitarist Masayuki Takayanagi. I misspoke and said I already had it because I was thinking of, I'm not going to grab it, it's right up here. But his name is so similar to this guy's name that I got them mixed up. But you best believe that I got this just a few days ago, because when I saw it, I said, oh, this is what that person meant, It wasn't not the Takan, I'd have to pull it. This is incredible. This is free jazz. And the guitar work on here is unusual. Don't sound like anybody. Don't sound like Fred Frith, Dereck Bailey. Don't sound like Sonny Chirac. Doesn't sound like any of those wild players. And this is absolute fire. Eclipse by Masayuki Takayanagi and New Direction Unit. Recorded in 1973. Pure fire. Pure fire. Highly recommend this to anyone just wants to hear some good guitar. So I'm a junkie. I did go back again. Well, I didn't go. Well, yeah, I went back to Grapefruit, but that was after. That was after I went in the afternoon, after spending the afternoon at Earth Day. I said it just wouldn't be right to not visit Homer's on Record Store Day. Because I do. I do. I used to work there. And I was a part of Homer's from the very beginning. When they first opened, I was so fascinated by a cool underground record store being in Omaha that I would just go down there and hang out. And I would volunteer to stock the shelves. I mean, it was just opening, so there was nothing much to stock. But I would happily did it for free. They weren't even giving me promos, at that time. I just, was just this kid that wouldn't go away. So I went to Homer's and I bought one item there, one Record Store Day item there, which is the David Bowie Brilliant Adventure EP, which I kind of wanted. The box set is not on my list, no. At over $300, no, I can live without it. This is good, and I love the mixing on the tracks, on the first side in particular. Great mixing on the I'm Afraid of Americans early version. And I have not been to Oxford Town. Sweet pressing. Grabbed that. And then I did go back to... I did. I got another... I got a used album there as well. Carla Bley, the composer pianist. I think that this woman is just, again, not understood well, and is a true great of modern music, not just jazz. She is a badass. And this is really good. It's a movie soundtrack, Mortelle Randonnée. Mortelle Randonnée. And it's got this flavor that she works from, where it's like it's almost this lounge band, this big band lounge band from some other dimension, where the way that she writes stuff and the way they played it feels really vaguely familiar, but it never settles into an old, it's always like, what's next? What is this? It's really good. And she always works with the best. So the personnel on here, of course, she's always has her muse, Steve Swallow on bass. This is real good. So I grabbed that. Let me see, did I get anything else at Homer's? I don't think I did. No, so I went back to Grapefruit, since I was down in the area. And I really kind of went to hang out with Simon and Mike. Mike was gone for the day, but I really like Simon Joyner a lot. A lot. Been around, familiar with him for many, many years, and stayed aligned with him when he went through some controversy a while back, because he, as an artist, he used the N-word in a song, which he can do, and the context in which he used it was excellent, and I stood up for him publicly, and actually got castigated. Me, I'm the person, I should know, and I do know. And I had white people trying to tell me I'm on the wrong side. Fucking reactionary dumb fucks. Simon's a good man. So anyway, we're hanging out and talking and really enjoying ourselves. And so I said, well, let me just take another peek here, and damn it, I say damn it because of the damage to the pocketbook. I'm real glad to get the records. He had gotten in some more Brazilian music, which I love, and I'm aware of a lot of Brazilian artists besides the main big ones that we know of, but I'm still trying to get a lot of the stuff by, for example, Caetano Veloso. I've been after this album for a while, Transa. I think this is my favorite of what I've heard of his. I've got several of his albums, but he's got a bunch. This one, and I don't speak Portuguese, but again, I've heard this language so much that I kind of get it, the gist of what's being said quite a bit. It's not even important for me. The beauty of the writing, his voice is to die for. Caetano Veloso has one of those voices that would melt ice. And I can just feel so much of what he's saying. And there'll be little simple things. Like the first track, You Don't Know Me, you know. I can just feel this stuff. This is an excellent album. Caetano Veloso, Transa. I was so glad to see these there. This one, it's his name, Caetano Veloso. These albums that I'm showing, and these pressings, Lilith, these came out in about 2018, didn't know about them. Clear vinyl, but boy, this is absolutely pristine and dead quiet and beautifully pressed, beautifully cut. I could rave about this music all week. There's so much in it. It's so rich. They always worked with the best of the best musicians on these records. Just really brilliant. I was also happy to, and real happy to get this one as well. I've been wanting to get an original. Still, if I found an original of this affordable, I'd still buy it. Caetano Veloso's Araçá Azul. And again, a racy, according to American or whatever, conservative people, you know, weren't happy with this cover, like the Rita Lee. And I'm certain they did it on purpose. You know, this is the way that life is down there in South America. It's warm. You're outside. You're on the beach. You're a sun lover. But this album is experimental and psychedelic and wild, as well as beautifully Brazilian. This is eclectic. This is a fantastic album. Just killer. Just killer. And the other one that I got was Rita Lee. Her first solo album. She was in Os Mutantes. Build Up. This was a nice find. And I love this album as well. It's pop and Brazil. And it's on this neat mustard color vinyl. 45 RPM. Plays great. I couldn't leave those down there. And he had more. I didn't get all of the Brazilian titles that he'd gotten in since I last checked that section that I want. I had to stop here. Excuse me, because I'd already blown a wad earlier in the day. I ain't complaining. I love it. And just to recap, got to play this all the way through. Gal Costa, incredible, incredibly beautiful, and oh man, man. I mentioned the Count Buffalo, and now that I've played it several times, you know, it was funny, but, you know, someone in one of the groups actually had to make a comment about how just the names of this, the name of this album was, for some, would be seemingly politically incorrect. And all I had to say to him was, small minds. Small minds. Akira Ishikawa and his Count Buffaloes playing African rock. This came out in the 70s. People get a motherfucking clue. God, we live in some reactionary bullshit-ass times. And I just don't have patience with this political correctness bullshit, okay? Among other people at the Earth Day, I ran into folks who I know from the business here in town. some people who are actually on the more conservative side. I'm always kind to them. But I always check out how they regard me, which is respectfully, we better not mess with Higgins, because I will tell you, fucking rotten conservative Republican motherfuckers. Democrats too, but the Republicans are the worst. If some of you people come over here trying to start some shit with me, just get ready to be deleted and blocked, because I'm not listening to hateful bullshit. What I'm saying is correct. Politics is absolutely polluted. And the brother that brings up the historical aspects about this stuff, I don't care. I don't care. I want it to stop, and it ain't gonna. I don't need to know the backstory. I know enough. Don't care. It's just messed up. It is. Okay, that's my Monday. How's your Monday going? I hope the rest of the week goes well for you too. There's always more to say about music, anything, but I just flow. Have a good one, y'all.